Hello everybody, this is St. Charles. It's Sunday the 16th of February 2025. We're going to start with Cornish Metals, and this one here we've covered off a few times. I think we called it around 6p and said we were going to head to this 9.68 to 10.9, which was correct. We've had a bit of a correction here, and there's been a big fundraising just recently where the UK National Wealth Fund has sort of chipped in quite a lot of money, nearly £30 million. And for me, I think we've just got a bit of churn to go on here, but I'm going to give my two options here. If we break sort of below this 7.4, we could see trading into this lower red box at 7.1 to 6.38. I don't think that's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is we're going to break this high at 9.5 pence, which would then smash this 10p prior high and bring trading into this upper red box here at 12.25 to 13.55 pence. So that's Cornish Metals, one to keep an eye on. I think it should do really well over the coming weeks and months. So Cornish Metals, one to do some research. Next one we're going to do is Bitcoin, and just get this one up. This is one where we called it at 54,671 to 49,962. We thought that was going to be the reversal zone, which was correct. And we also said that we thought we were going to see trading up to 100,000, which again was correct before we see a bit of turbulence, which was correct again. And for me, I've got my preferred route here, which I think that we're going to see a bit of more downside into this red box zone here at 90,141 to 84,879. And then I think we're going to see a couple of ways at least higher and hit this upper red box here at 114,257 to 121,979, which for me that really is going to probably bring us to the top of the original blue box, which we gave many months ago, where we thought trading was going to head. I think we'll probably see the top of that trading box at 122,896. So and I think that's going to be the final push for Bitcoin before it makes a bigger corrective move. However, we shall see how that unfolds. Next one I'm going to do is silver, and this one here, I'm going to start with a daily chart, and for me, this has always been my target or initial target, was this blue box zone up here at 36.06 to 41.09 area, and I think that's where we're going to be heading. It hasn't played too nicely, but silver isn't the best from a charting perspective, but I can just flip to the weekly, and you see there my blue box there still stands. However, if we go zoom out a bit, I think we could see, if it gets a lot of power behind it, which is, comparative to gold, it hasn't performed very well at all. But, if we can see a bit of power behind it, we could see trading break this prior high back from, goodness me, April 2011. And I think we could see trading straight into this red box zone here at 61.22 to 74.7 pence area, or $7, sorry. So that is silver. As you see, if you look through history, it's had some massive spikes in the past. So, who would put it past silver absolutely zooming up here again? I mean, who knows? But, initial target for me is going to be that little teeny weeny blue box on this chart. But, it could zoom up higher and zoom straight up into that red box zone there. So one to keep an eye on. Right, next one I'm going to do is crude light. And this one where we covered off the other week, and I said I thought that Trump wants a lower crude price than he wants higher. So for me, I've got two options here. Sort of break this 65.37 area. I think we should trade in down to 60.25 down to 52.79, which I think is Trump's preferred route. However, if you get a bit of geopolitical sort of uncertainty, especially with all those oil producing nations, we could break this prior high here at $80.8, and we could see trading into this 85.87 to $90.13 area. So that for me, until it sort of breaks either of those zones, or we get a bit better corrective pattern there, it is one to sort of avoid for now. So keeping an eye on it. I'm just going to clear up a bit of confusion next, because I thought I'd done JLP during the week instead of SLP, which I'd actually done SLP. So I'm just going to cover that off again. SLP is in a long-term reversal zone down here in this big blue box at 47 pence down to 32.35, and I think we're going to see at least a three-wave correction. I don't think that's really got underway as such, but for me, I would like to see at at least 3 wave bounce, 1, 2, 3, to sort of correct the absolutely mammoth fall there from 112 pence. So worth doing some research, having a look into that. I don't know anything about it. I'm just talking about technicals here, and that for me in the technical chart, that is a very strong reversal zone, and I would expect at least a 3 wave bounce to the upside. Next one I'm going to do then is JLP. So I didn't actually cover this one off, and so I'm going to do it now. And this for me again, it's had an absolutely mammoth correction from its prior high there at 22 pence. It's come all the way back down to roughly where it was, hasn't it? Well, not far off. And for me, first point of call on that one, it's in the blue box reversal zone here. In fact, it's just tagging the top of it again. But for me, if it could do a reversal there, we could be heading up to this red box zone here, which I'd make a bit bigger at 5.32 to 5.76. But I'm not too happy with that corrective move, but one would suspect that it should see a bounce higher. Needs to do some research, and if it could bounce into there, then and do a bit of a corrective move, I think you could potentially see something like that, a bit of a corrective move, and then a possible next leg up into that upper red box at 8.74 to 9.90. But obviously, it's going to need some volume, probably some news in order to do that. So one to put on the research list. MSMN is going to be my next one, because this is an absolutely fantastic call from us. We said that we thought that this blue box reversal zone here, we're going to see some upside, and indeed we did, and we shot from that sort of 0.0264 level all the way up to 0.05 pence, wasn't it, basically? So and we've seen a bit of a corrective move now, and for me, as long as we can keep around this level, which I suspect we will, I'm expecting trading to head up to this 0.072 to 0.0186, and possibly then continue its way up into this upper red box. Is basically the 0.1 pence level is probably where that is going to head over the coming weeks and months. So MSMN looking rather good. COR is my next one. This is a tiny market cap. It's just done a little tiny capital raise, which I believe there was a reason to keep that below 100,000. But for me, it's not a particularly great chart, but it's one worth doing some research. It could fall a bit lower, but I mean, I think it's sub-£1 million market cap, but it does have a very interesting gap there, doesn't it? There's gap to fill at 0.65, so that's a few bags from where it is at the moment. So that's COR, worth doing some research, before you take a punt on it. But the potential reward there is quite high, but the market cap is tiny, so please do your research. Next one I'm going to do is CAMAL, and I think we've covered this off recently. But for me, I personally would say that I'm expecting trading to fall down to this blue box here at 139.4 down to 122.4 for a reversal play. However, if it sort of breaks this low here at 137 pence, we could see it fall down as low as 113.6 to 83.3 before it makes a move to the upside. And my sort of long-term target there would be around 266 pence, but see how that one plays out. But you never know, it could well have finished its corrective move there on that 146 level. So it's one to do some research, see what's going on, because obviously it's had a big fall, hasn't it, from this sort of 248 level. But it's Asian Metals. I don't know. It needs some research and find out what they're doing. I haven't researched it, so worth doing some research. Next one I'm going to do is XSG, and this one here is a chart request, I think, and for me, that was in a blue box reversal zone there at 0.364, which is an absolute superb entry level. Obviously, I missed it, and it filled that gap there at 1.2 pence level, which is done. And for me, I think really it's one that probably grab on the pullback. I thought I'd done a box there. I haven't. No, but I personally speaking, we would expect at least a 3-wave bounce from that blue box zone. So we've sort of had a wave 1, probably get a 2, and then hopefully another 3, and probably sort of rouse above sort of 2 pence level. Who knows? But it's one I'm going to keep an eye on. The next one I'm going to do is ALTN, and just get that one up. And this one here, it's looking really good. If I can get the right one, LTN. Sorry about this, everybody. ALTN. Goodness me, can't read my own writing today. There we go. That's better. So for me, this one here should be heading up to this blue box zone up here at 356 to 434. That's where I think that's heading before we're going to see a bigger corrective play. So it's still quite a few pennies in the bag for those willing to take the punt. Worth doing some research, but for me, that's where that one's going to head short term. So that's ALTN. Sorry about the confusion there, trying to get that up. Next we're going to do is Infinity Energy Systems, and this one we've covered off and called that pretty well in the recent past. We said that, this low here, and we gave that target there, which is correct. Gave another one that was correct. And for me, I've got a blue box reversal zone here at 12.4 down to 10.25. And I think, if we can get the bulls behind that, drop some right news, we could be trading up to this 24.1 to 27.4. So obviously it needs to break this prior higher at 20.4, but Infinity Energy Systems, worth a look, do some research, see what's going on there, but it's looking pretty good for a reversal play. Next we're going to do is ANGS, and there's a lot of noise going on about this one at the moment, and again this one is in a pretty good place for me. I've got a blue box reversal zone here at sort of 0.652 down to 0.257, and it's right at the bottom of the box. I mean, it's sort of fallen out below, and it's now sort of tagging, playing with the bottom of it. And for me, I think this could be really exciting. I mean, I don't know what news is due, but I think we might see a rise into this red box zone here at 0.65 up to 0.772. Might get a corrective play there, and we could see another big leg up a bit higher. I think I've got a super red box. I know I don't have it there, but it doesn't matter. But I think that's we should see at least a three-wave bounce to the upside. So for me, that first point of call is 0.65 to 0.772. And then see where it goes from there. But ANGS looks good. Avacta is my next one, and this is one we've covered off a few times. But for me, a bit of a squeaky bum time for those holding. But for me, as long as we can hold above this prior load back here at 42.15, for me, I think we're going to break this prior high at 60 pence. Could see trading up to this 72.2 to 80.4. However, if we can break that prior high set back here at July 24, I think we could see it attacking a pound. So, probably see something like this, sort of 1, 2, and then hopefully a 3, and go and have a attack at a pound and see how it goes. But obviously, they're going to need to drop some news and sort out that Wonga loan. There we go. That's Avacta. AET is my next one. And for me, this one here it's that blue box reversal zone which I gave a long while back at 47.3 to 44.1. It's sort of toying with the box, having a bit of a play. But for me, I think there's an incomplete sequence. I've got a wave 1 there, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and for me, I'm expecting a wave 5 into this red box. So I think we should see trading up to this 67 to 74.4, as we'd expect 67 as a minimum, and it could stretch its legs much higher, but it needs to break this high at 62.4 to activate it. So AET, one to have a look at. EME is my next one. And if I can zoom into that one, for me, I think it's just on a placing. But for me, I think we're going to see trading into this 0.24 to 0.268 zone over the coming short few weeks or few days, probably. It's had big volumes. I think it's sort of died off at the moment, which is actually a good sign because we're not getting sellers. So, for me, EME looking really good. Need to do research. That's just how I see it looking. RTM is my next one. And this one here is in the long-term reversal zone here at 2.5 down to 0.454. I don't think it's going to go much lower than that, but I said that back here. It has fallen a bit lower, but for me, I'm expecting at least a 3-wave bounce, and hopefully we can head sort of a bagger or two from there. 4 pence would be a bagger, wasn't it? So and the actual decline there is from 12 pence, isn't it? So goodness me, it's got a long way to go. You'd sort of hope that it's going to hit sort of 7 pence, but obviously they're going to need to drop some pretty good news for that to happen. But worth doing some research. I know it was fans' favourite at one stage. SNDN is my next one, and just going to cover this off again. And for me, we've had this blue box reversal zone down here at 0.06 to 0.05 pence level. Basically, the company needs to drop some news. It'd be great to speak to the company and find out what's going on, but they don't respond to emails. But to me, I still think that we drop the right news, break this prior high here at sort of 0.115 level. Could see trading into this 0.15 down up to 0.178 pence level. So that is under worth a look. Bank is my next one, and this one we called pretty well. Thought that we were going to see more upside, and we have. For me, it sort of broke that prior high that we had here at Jan 25, and it's seen a bit of selling pressure. I'm hopeful that that's going to be the trigger that is going to trigger this 19.6 to 23.4. However, it could be that that's sort of a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're going to see a 1, 2, 3 corrective play before going higher, or indeed the alternative route is, which hopefully this is what's going to happen. That's our wave 1, that's our 2, and this is our 3. So bit of a difficult one to call because it don't have a lot of trading history there, but there's both routes. So bank, worth a look. Next one I'm going to do is UCOG, and try and get through as many as I can. And for me, this one here is in the strong blue box reversal zone at sort of 0.028 level, but it's got all the way down here to 0.006, or almost 0.007, and for me, the obvious play there is the gap at 0.033. It's normally one of those stocks that has absolutely monster spikes, isn't it? So, I'm not going to say this top box there. I think it's just ridiculous. But, it's one to have a look at, see what news they're going to pull out the bag over the next coming few sessions or whatever, and take a look. But for me, first point of call is that gap there. So that's UCOG. Next one I'm going to do is UPL, and this is one where we said many months back, so sort of back in July 24, we gave this reversal zone where it's acted as support, and I've had a good candle. And for me, it needs to break out of this blue box here at 1.5 pence level. Basically, if you can break and hold above that, I think we'll see trading up to 2.15 to up to 2.5 pence. So that's UPL. TRLS is my next one, and if I can get that one up, this one here is a chart request, and for me a bit of a difficult one. Obviously had a massive spike up here back in early January. It's had a pullback. It's not a great pullback from my perspective, so from a technical point of view it's not great. It's very hard to sort of predict where that's going to finish, but we're sort of holding pretty firm above the sort of 2 pence level. So for me, if it can break the 5.4, which is obviously 1.5 bags, it could bring us up to 6.8 to 8.1 pence level. But on the same breath, we don't want to see it sort of falling much further down. So one to do your own research on. That's going to be me for the day. I'll be back again hopefully tomorrow. Have a great weekend, everybody.